Thank you for renting the large rental PA from Pole Sound. We also call this our Tower of Power system. So the speakers are two separate pieces, but they stack very nicely together. You put the front edge here. We've got this one turned around so we can show you the connections in the back, and we'll get to those more in a moment. First, let's look at the amp rack that comes with it. We'll unlid the front here. We'll just set the lids off to the side. Same thing with the back. Now let's look closer at the amplifiers and what comes with this rack. Okay, let's take a closer look at the amp rack that comes with our large rental PA, or the Tower of Power. We'll get to the back more, but first there's a power cord that's coming out of the back that we'll just plug in real quick. Now we can see power buttons here. We'll turn those on. It takes a minute for the amplifiers to power up. When they're up and ready, there's a little light down here that will come on both amplifiers, signifying they're ready. And they'll be set for the Tour X mid-high and Tour X dual 18, and that will power the mid-high for the tops and the dual 18 for the subs. Also up here, we have a drawer with all of our cables in it, so we'll pull those out and set them off to the side for now. These here are the volume knobs for the amplifier, so for your tops, left, right, subs, left, right. And that's basically all you'll need on the front of this amplifier rack. Now if we spin it around, we'll look at the connections on the back. So the first connection we'll see closest to me is a power connector. We don't use that power connector anymore, and we now have run just like a normal extension cord for a normal power. And then we have our input section and output section. So let's grab our mixer and look at how we connect the mixer to the amp rack. You'll come out of the output of the mixer, left and right, to this section here. So let me grab this cable. And I'll come from the output of my mixer left into 1 here. And then we'd come out of the right into 2. Now if you had another system you were tying this into or something else, these are just pass-throughs of this connector so you can link things together. Next, we'll look at the output section. Now it's pretty clearly labeled, main output and sub output, left and right on both. So we would take our cables here and connect them to the amp rack. Now these are the Neutrik locking connector, so it goes in that way and then a quarter of a turn and you'll hear it click and lock in. So now we would run this to our left top, which we'll do quickly up here. Take this cable and plug it in up here. Again, it'll go in and then turn a quarter of the way and click in. The next cable we will run to our sub on the left side. So we will come left sub, and then the other end of that cable would go over here to our subs. All right, let's look closely at how we connect a cable to our speakers here. There are 2 input jacks, and you can use either one. It doesn't matter which you use. So we'll push the cable in, turn it a quarter of a turn clockwise, and you'll hear it click and lock in. Now at the end of your show, to undo it, you'll pull the tab out away from the speaker, turn it a quarter of a turn counterclockwise, and it shall just slide right out. And then we would come out of this one and out of this one respectively for our right top and right sub. Okay, after your show is done, let's look at how to unconnect these connectors. Because they're a locking connector, they can be a little tricky. There's a tab on the top of these. We'll want to pull the tab out away from the amplifier rack and then turn it a quarter of a turn counterclockwise, and then it should just slide right out. Now if you don't pull the tab, it's not going to turn, so we need to pull the tab, turn it a quarter of a turn, and it'll slide right out. The XLR connector has a little tab at the top. We'll push that in, and that'll allow us to pull the XLR right out of there. And that's the basics of the Tower of Power, or our large rental PA system. Thank you for choosing Pole Sound for your audio rental needs. If you have any specific questions about the amplifiers or the mixers that we've sent with you, please refer to the video of that particular product. We hope your event goes well, and we hope to see you again soon.